All right, so back when the Pride event was released, I can't remember if it's the Quest or if it's here. It's here. So you have the Sparkle Hoof plush. So basically, you'd get plus 50 charisma and luck with the highest level version, and it makes your pets and guests do a prismatic burn per hit. So I think it's like a max of 4 per pet, per guest, per turn or something. And it stacks pretty quickly. I'm not a huge fan of prismatic burn, as I think that it's underpowered and it's so case dependent. Like, let's just pick random battle. So like, for example, here. So just as a refresher for those that don't understand, prismatic burn will actually hit all of those elements. It hits them all. So prismatic burn might be pretty good for basically it's an 8-hit DOT. That's what it is. But as you can see, when it hits the water element, it's going to heal the monster. And then you also have ice at 30%, darkness at 30%. So I don't know if you did those averages there. So I'm not for sure where that would come out, but that's probably pretty close to 100%, maybe, give or take. Standard monster resists, the highest one on average in theory is supposed to be 130%. So like, let's say energy in this case was 130%. Then if I was wanting to do a burn, it'd be the most benefit to my character to do an energy burn. Prismatic burn gets a 132 over 109% boost, which equates to about 121%. So it gets 121% boost, but average resistances would average to 100. So that would be basically akin to hitting for 121% element. So it's actually underpowered compared to standard resistances. I think versus this monster, it would be far beneficial to just use an energy burn. So I'm going to go ahead and flee here. We'll try the next random monster. Let's see what happens here. Gorgonzilla. So in this case, you're probably better. Let's see. So the 95s and the 105s cancel. So in this case, the 80 and the 120 cancel. So you're averaging 100% resist. So in this case, prismatic burn would be actually beneficial. Now, there hasn't been a lot of prismatic burn opportunities to stack, but I do want to show something that I personally have been doing. Now keep in mind, Soul Neko gets the plus 25% to burn damage, so you're gaining that. And then what you can do maybe is like Power Gauntlet. Hopefully this will take. Okay, so you're getting another 25% damage there. So what I've been doing lately, so I'll equip the Heroic Titan's Herald, and then you can toggle it on. It will cost you. So let's toggle it on. And then Chrono Phoenix spell is a 4-hit spell, and so this gets the per hit effect. So, and then it will also give you another turn and your pet and guest 2 turns. So let's see what happens here. So all 4 hits landed, and we get a 1.862 prismatic burn for 4 rounds. Because we took a turn and I used Optico, this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. Hyper crit for your pet is you get a times 6 rate, at least for now until it's changed. There's rumors that it may go to about what they call plus 33%, so that'll be on top of your 10% base. So Optico may change to become a 43% down from times 6, which would be 60%. I think it's actually like 50 something. It's just rounded. It's just rounded in the box there. And then what I'll do now is I'll switch to Sparkle Hoof Plush, so I'm already gaining the increase rate here. And then I'm going to switch to Wild Grace, This was a, I think, spring season limited time shop item. I think it's tokens, but you get this Wild Savagery option. I'm gonna turn it off here, and then basically it's an LE seek between wind and earth, so it's gonna attack for wind in this case, and then it says it uses NP to enhance accuracy and the burn. So NP is like your charges here, but what I'm going to do is just attack. I could potentially find another armor that has plus 25% damage to burns, but also a 4-hit weapon-based attack. I haven't really thought about it too much, but I'm just going to do this. So this goes to, I guess I missed one, so I'm at 2.2 now, 2.4. As you can see, phase. So it's 2.581 in one turn. And then let's see what the battle log showed, but I think it might be closing in on a couple thousand damage. So as you can see here, you got the 129 and 169. That's just shy of 300. 417. We'll call that 580. We'll call that 780. We'll call that 920. We'll call that 1060. We'll call that 1220, and we'll call that 1300. We'll round it to 1300. So it was 1300 damage after one turn, and then I was able to, if you notice, because Chrono Phoenix is an overcharged, it's an overcharged spell. So phase going twice, this guy going twice, and eating the panic seemed to help. We'll come back to this guy, and we'll start over. So now we're up to 355. Go to Wild Grace, go to Sparklehoof, and we're up to 3.9 over 4 power. So it's like over 4 power prismatic burn, but the monster's going to die here. So that's pretty good. I think in this instance, you're stacking enough prismatic burn such that the damage is now going to be maybe worth actually using with this setup. Again, you could probably get higher if you had maybe a 4-hit armor. That might even be, if there's not a 4-hit armor that does plus 25% to burns, that might be still worth doing because you're getting the 2 hits here. That might actually benefit you, but I think most likely this might be the best setup for now. Soul Neko cannot eat prismatic burn. I think there's only one thing in the game that can eat it. I think it's a spell. It's one of those skeleton clone spells. But so a couple things. I just wanted to show off the item so you can actually get a decent stack of prismatic burn. But also, because of the Chrono Phoenix spell, you can use Optico, and then you can swap to something and get some different benefit and still basically get your heals or your pet damage or whatever, however you're using it. But that's it for this video. I just want to show off the item. It's a gold item. I think it's actually pretty good. Plus 50 charisma, plus 50 luck, prismatic burn. You know, I had enough SP where I could have continued to just stack Power Gauntlet. If you don't have the Chrono Phoenix, just use Shadow Feeder Pendant, and you'll basically get the same thing. Just cast you a fire spell and maybe use Wild Grace. That will increase if you actually spend a turn to charge with Wild Grace. It'll actually increase that. So you can probably push maybe upwards of 5 power prismatic burn if all your hits land across the board. And you're probably doing, if I did in that instance 1300, you're probably doing 25 to 3,000 damage in prismatic burn, which is nice, especially against damage caps. It won't do shit versus plot armor, but the old traditional damage caps, it's kind of, maybe it's actually kind of worthwhile if you're able to stack enough of it, despite it, in my opinion, being underpowered versus standard resistances. But that's it for this video.